How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I am your host, FaZe Crypto, and starting off today's news, Bitcoin, BNB, and major stable coins added by Samsung Galaxy S10. And of course, we're seeing more and more mobile phones adapting with wallet storage, and really that's sort of the front line of seeing cryptocurrency integrated in a large way with the establishment. And if you want to get an idea of don't listen to any Warren Buffett, don't listen to any Bill Gates when they trash talk cryptocurrency. I don't pay any or Kevin O'Leary when he talks crap about Bitcoin, all these big money guys. I think what they're doing is putting out all this FUD just so that they can accumulate at cheaper levels, and that's really going to tie into the overall theme of what I want to talk about today. Of course, Bitcoin now being at that 9,600, pretty stable for the past few days. We've been seeing it at the 9,500. Doesn't seem to want to go down, but the bulls don't seem to have the strength to push it up and keep it where it was at that $10,000 level. It also screams of manipulation, but in theory, I would say that my analysis of the situation is that they're attempting to shake out the weak hands, and the one best strategy is just to simply hodl. Of course, there's always going to be people out there who attempt to leverage trade and all these other next door to gambling sort of approaches. They could sort of use all the technical analysis they want, but at some point in crypto, your technical analysis is going to of course, you just have to make measured trades, and I'm not going to just sit here and knock TA. I think that it has its place, but at the same time, it's all about measuring your risk and reward, and essentially playing the game and understanding that it could go both it could go both ways. So you always have to set yourself up to win in both situations. And this does drive me to my point about Cardano, which is sort of a wrong running legacy of this channel, is to discuss altcoins in that same fashion. Of course, it's not very fashionable to, it's not the sexiest thing in crypto to have your big fat bags of altcoins. And, of course, nobody likes to be sitting around watching their altcoins go down in value. But personally, I'm hedging my bets that Cardano will have some serious impact on the world of cryptocurrency, especially when we're seeing the attention being given to the major altcoins and, of course, various other stable coins, in the context of the different events that we've been seeing occurring. And of course, just our friend Pomp, This Week in Crypto Court says Craig Wright lied. That's pretty funny. Gemini joins Silverage Network, which is pretty big news. A lot of you wanted me to discuss. PNC Bank joins RippleNet. Another notch on the belt for Ripple. I'm not a Ripple hater by any means, and of course buy Bitcoin. Pretty funny, at somebody protester or whatever holding up that sign. But yeah, Binance launches crypto lending, and of course his favorite thing, Bitcoin, still not dead. And of course, if you can't stand your Bitcoin and it's 20% drop, then you won't be able to have it during its when it 10x's, or all these great potentials that are in store for this developing class of as cryptocurrency continues to make its way in a big way, of course. But turning the attention back over to the altcoins, of course, Bitcoin dominance and back up there at 69.2%, and likely to be taking up even more of the space. And you just take a step back and consider the fact that Bitcoin has almost 70% dominance in this space, and of course, market cap being at 24,970. Very interesting to see, respectively at the current time. And of course, top performers, at the current time, at least of making this video, this one right here, pretty interesting. I don't actually know very much about, ENJ, but it is interesting to see, ENJ and, others like it. Steam, of course, in that same family of cryptos that definitely worthy of paying attention to. But yeah, this does bring me to my point about Cardano, and exactly what we can expect to see, in terms of how Cardano has already established itself, and how a cryptocurrency like Cardano could in fact be a major player, and in fact a key proponent of this idea does in fact lead itself to the academic credentials that Cardano has already established for itself, scientific sort of validation aspects of it, of course, are important to point out in the same context, as we see, the altcoins gaining their, favorability back from the crypto abyss that, we're slowly but surely, sort of inching our way down. Now, I know many have brought up the fact that in recent videos I've been more bullish. I've been more bearish overall on the market, and I don't make the rules. I'm just responding to the indicators that I see in the space. And back when I made my last video, we were seeing Bitcoin well above 10,000. And I obviously remember, standard disclaimer, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Of course, nothing I say on here is any sort of advice. It's just my opinion. But for anybody out there who, listens to me and enjoys my work, and, of course, my own situation, I was fortunate enough to see the writing on the wall, which, of course, plenty of people out there also did, but it is interesting to see, because of course you could sell when it's high and then buy back at a lower price, and it still might very well be possible to do so. Perhaps in a few months we'll be looking back at the price as it currently stands, and we'll be like, oh well, those of us who sold and saw that 9,000 was going to go down to 6,000, 5,000, $5,000 Bitcoin for me would be pretty amazing. I know plenty of people out there would be accumulating a full BTC, but that is also another interesting thing, because I think that one of the major things that's going to make altcoins look more attractive as time moves on is in fact going to have a lot to do with the fact that the majority of people out there actually cannot afford a full Bitcoin, and of course we are all very much anticipating the scarcity of Bitcoin is going to be a huge factor. Of course, while the circulating supply, this number right here isn't entirely accurate, because many of the Bitcoins that are in circulation are in inactive wallets. And I actually saw an interesting statistic, which was saying, I'll actually put this on Twitter, I'll retweet it so you guys can check that out, on CryptoTube or at Twitter. But it basically said that only 800,000 Bitcoin wallets actually contain a full Bitcoin, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. The wealth gap in cryptocurrency is the likes of which, monumental proportions. And of course, I do see a future for altcoin. Long term, for sure. I'm pretty positive that as people discover that the window of opportunity to own a full Bitcoin is closing, while that demand is subsequently rising, that will just gradually drive people into altcoins. Now, what am I saying that this is going to have an impact on the dirty word altcoin season? I'm not going to go as far as to say altcoin season at this point, but I do see that the next generation of cryptocurrency wealth will in part be people who were early to Bitcoin. Of course, that one's sort of a no-brainer, but at the same time, I do think that we will be seeing plenty of people who were smart enough to accumulate the altcoins, especially as altcoins are getting cheaper and cheaper. It's not going to continue like this every single day. When things are generally good for Bitcoin, Bitcoin holders, they're generally getting more expensive for people who want to join in, which is why it's welcoming to people who are early adopters. I've heard people call Bitcoin SV the next BitConnect, which was kind of funny. We'll make a video on that in the future, but hopefully we'll see a $30 Litecoin. A $3,000 Bitcoin would be sick, and then all the altcoins could just be extremely cheap as well. Those would be good times. With all that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this content. I'll see you guys next video. Have a good one.